Protect LGBT plus rights, Project 2029. Equality is not negotiable. Yet across the nation, LGBTQ plus rights remain under attack. Families denied recognition, healthcare stripped away, identities outlawed. A just society does not tolerate discrimination. It eradicates it. The solution is clear: full legal protections for LGBTQ plus people. Enshrine marriage equality, defend trans rights, and pass comprehensive anti-discrimination laws. No one should fear eviction, job loss, or violence for being who they are. This is not special treatment. It is basic dignity. A free society honors all its people, not just those who fit a narrow mold. Diversity is not a threat. It is a strength. When everyone is free to thrive, the nation thrives with them. Action must follow principle. Demand laws that protect, not punish. Challenge bigotry in policy and practice. Elect leaders who fight for inclusion, not exclusion. A country that calls itself free must mean it, for everyone. Protect LGBTQ plus rights because love, identity, and dignity are not up for debate. Key stats. 1. Prevalence of discrimination. Surveys by the National LGBTQ Task Force reveal that over 50% of LGBTQ plus individuals report experiencing discrimination in employment, housing, and public services, underscoring the urgent need for comprehensive legal protections. 2. Violence against transgender people. Data from the Human Rights Campaign indicate that in recent years, at least 44 transgender or gender non-conforming individuals have been fatally targeted, reflecting a perilous climate of hate and systemic vulnerability that demands robust anti-violence measures. 3. Healthcare barriers. Studies show that LGBTQ plus populations, particularly transgender people, are nearly twice as likely to delay or avoid seeking healthcare due to fears of discrimination, resulting in significantly poorer health outcomes compared to the general population. 4. Economic disparities. Research from the Williams Institute finds that LGBTQ plus workers earn 10% less on average than their cisgender, heterosexual counterparts, a gap compounded by higher rates of workplace harassment and discrimination that stifle economic opportunity. 5. Broad public support for equality. Polling consistently demonstrates that over 70% of Americans support marriage equality and comprehensive anti-discrimination laws, signaling strong public demand for policies that ensure LGBTQ plus rights and dignity are upheld across all facets of society. Leading voices. 1. Human Rights Campaign. HRC is the largest LGBTQ plus advocacy group in the United States. It works on a wide range of issues, including workplace equality, transgender rights, and comprehensive anti-discrimination policies through public education, research, and political lobbying. 2. Lambda Legal. Specializing in impact litigation, Lambda Legal fights discriminatory laws and practices in court. Its legal advocacy has helped secure key victories for marriage equality, transgender rights, and broader civil rights protections for LGBTQ plus individuals. 3. National LGBTQ Task Force. The task force focuses on grassroots organizing and policy advocacy to dismantle systemic discrimination. It works at both the local and national levels, pushing for comprehensive legal reforms and fostering coalition building among diverse communities. 4. GLAAD. While originally known for monitoring media representations of LGBTQ plus people, GLAAD now works to influence a broad spectrum of public policy issues. By reshaping narratives in the media and public discourse, it supports a more inclusive social climate that underpins legal protections. 5. The Trevor Project. Primarily a crisis intervention and suicide prevention organization for LGBTQ plus youth, the Trevor Project also advocates for policies that ensure safe, affirming environments for young people. Its work is critical for protecting vulnerable populations and promoting broader cultural acceptance. 10 steps. 1. Conduct a comprehensive policy audit. Using datasets from the Human Rights Campaign, Movement Advancement Project, and Equality Federation, systematically map federal, state, and local laws affecting LGBTQ+ rights. For instance, recent HRC findings reveal that over 30 states have introduced bills targeting transgender health care, while 25 states still lack comprehensive anti-discrimination protections. This detailed audit will generate a robust, data-driven baseline, highlighting regional disparities and pinpointing specific legal gaps to strategically inform subsequent interventions. 2. Build a cross-sector coalition. Assemble a coalition that includes civil rights organizations, legal experts, community leaders, and advocacy groups. Drawing on research from the Pew Research Center, which notes that 70% of Americans support LGBTQ+ equality, schedule an inaugural summit with representatives from at least 50 stakeholder groups across 20 states. This multi-sector alliance will pool expertise, resources, and regional insights, amplifying the movement's collective influence on policy reform. 3. Develop a detailed legislative agenda. Draft a prioritized legislative blueprint that targets key reforms such as enshrining marriage equality, banning conversion therapy, and defending transgender rights. Referencing data from the National LGBTQ Task Force, which indicates that nearly 25 states offer minimal legal protections for transgender individuals, incorporate clear policy language, measurable benchmarks, and deadlines. This concrete roadmap, underpinned by expert testimony and rigorous research, will guide lawmakers toward enacting necessary protections. 4. Launch a data-driven public awareness campaign. Leverage quantitative research and personal narratives to create a compelling, multi-platform media strategy. Studies from GLAAD show a 15% increase in public support for transgender rights over the past 5 years. Use these trends to design targeted social media campaigns, interactive town halls, and community forums. Set measurable goals, such as reaching 1 million impressions and engaging diverse demographics, to transform abstract legal concepts into relatable stories that galvanize public opinion. 5. Implement targeted lobbying efforts. Based on findings from the Center for American Progress, which report that personal testimonies can boost legislative support by up to 40%, schedule strategic meetings, policy briefings, and public hearings with key elected officials. Present the legislative agenda alongside hard data and compelling personal stories, targeting swing states and legislative districts where bipartisan support is achievable. This focused lobbying will aim to secure commitments from at least 15 key policymakers to champion the proposed reforms. 6. Mobilize grassroots action. Coordinate with local advocacy groups to organize demonstrations, letter-writing campaigns, and digital outreach using platforms such as Nextdoor and Facebook groups, which often report engagement rates above 20%. Develop and distribute comprehensive advocacy toolkits, including petition templates, social media content, and guidelines for contacting representatives to empower community members. The goal is to stimulate a sustained grassroots movement, evidenced by a measurable increase in local activism events and petition signatures by at least 30% over the next year. 7. Establish a legal defense and rapid response team. Form a rapid response unit comprising 20 legal professionals from established organizations like Lambda Legal and the ACLU. This team will be on call to challenge discriminatory practices in court, with a target response time of 48 hours for emerging legal threats. Recent case studies show that swift legal intervention can prevent policy rollbacks. Hence, this proactive mechanism is crucial for maintaining newly enacted protections and deterring future infringements. Implement monitoring and accountability mechanisms. Create an independent oversight board, including experts from the NAACP, Human Rights Campaign, and academic institutions, to track the implementation of LGBTQ+ policies. Utilize technology to develop a public dashboard that monitors key performance indicators, such as changes in reported discrimination cases and legislative milestones, updated quarterly. Drawing inspiration from the Bureau of Justice Statistics, publish biannual progress reports to ensure transparency, facilitate timely adjustments, and maintain momentum for reform. 9. Engage in strategic electoral politics. Identify and endorse candidates with a demonstrated commitment to LGBTQ+ rights. Using data from the Center for Information and Research on Civic Learning and Engagement to target regions with over 60% voter support for equality measures. Organize voter registration drives with a goal of adding at least 50,000 new voters in key swing districts before the next election cycle. Establish campaign support networks and utilize data analytics to monitor candidate performance, thereby reshaping the political landscape in favor of inclusive policies. 10. Institutionalize reforms for long-term impact. Partner with leading educational institutions, such as Harvard or Stanford, to develop policy manuals and training programs for public officials, ensuring that LGBTQ+ protections are embedded in state and federal frameworks. Commission longitudinal studies to assess the impact of these reforms on community well-being, with evaluations conducted every 2 years. This institutionalization will transform temporary policy wins into a permanent legacy, safeguarding the rights and dignity of LGBTQ+ individuals for generations to come.